Marcy Hoffman. I'm the Director of Tech Solutions at Doing Good Digital. And then
I'm John Lord. I'm the Director of Annual Giving at Children's Wisconsin.
I am at Doing Good Digital. We are a digital fundraising agency. We work with nonprofits and hospital foundations on design, strategy, and tech. We are Engaging Networks partners, and we work to grow your digital fundraising programs, and this is one of those examples. So in this session, we'll cover strategy, campaign assets, results, some takeaways, some things we do again, some things we wouldn't do again, and chat through the elements of a successful Giving Day campaign.
All right. So going into it, I've been with Children's for about 4 years now, and coming in, one of the things I really wanted to do right away was set up a Giving Day specific to Children's, something calendar year away from Giving Tuesday because of all the noise around Giving Tuesday. And just kicking off, I wanted something primarily digital like Giving Tuesday, so it was really easy to put together and to message out, and then would allow us to do testing on our e-file, segmentation, social ads, things that we're moving toward, and also, building out our annual touch points with donors, things like that. And along with all of those, being still mindful of our more traditional donors and wanting to make sure that whatever we did, we were able to build in some kind of trackable direct mail component like a postcard, which is what we sent out to some of our more lapsed and older donors. Going into it, we did about 6 months of planning ahead of time. Again, I wanted a similar structure to Giving Tuesday in the way that it looked, but we also wanted to make sure that we were setting up for success in terms of drivers that would get people excited for the day. So we were able to secure a match a few months out ahead of time, which was wonderful, just knowing that we were going into the day with that. A lot of organizations for a Giving Day will do an incentive. We have a lot of colleges that do it in the Milwaukee area. And what we decided to do was something really special for Children's, in that instead of an incentive for the donor, that we were going to set it up and that with a donation of $15 or more, we were going to donate a stuffed animal to one of the kids receiving inpatient care at one of our hospitals. So that we figured that was a really good motivator. And then really just thinking about, again, those advanced touch points of the postcard, preview emails leading up to the day. We sent, I think, a total of 3 out. There were 2 the week before, 1 the day before, and then day of. We sent out 3 over the course of the day just to let everybody know what was going on, to showcase different stories that we were doing for that day, a little something for everyone. And then, again, the important follow-up for things, giving people a chance to give if they somehow missed the day of, and to thank everyone for participating that day.
And some of the tools that we use, so these are some of the tools and components we use that we created in Engaging Networks. The first is a landing page, and this was really important to the campaign to showcase the different areas on this and summarize the campaign for donors. So we would have everything, all the aspects of the campaign on this landing page. I do have the URL. It's giving.childrenswisconsin.org/day-of-giving if you want to check it out. This landing page had the main calls to actions, heartfelt stories, and then the social media toolkit, which included post ideas. It had downloadable images in the social media campaign kit, and a virtual background for Zoom for people to participate in the Day of Giving and kind of build community that way. It also had the visual proof of progress, so we included a animated thermometer and had our goal on it, which was really helpful for showing that other people were donating, and we were able to include offline giving. So if major donors gave or gift officers were getting gifts, we could increase that thermometer throughout the day, and that was really, really helpful. And like John said, we had a matching gift, so our original goal was $40K. And then we had a stretch goal of 60K. So showing that progress of the matching gift was really important. And then these really, really cute stuffed animals was a really big incentive for donors to give the gift that would go to inpatient children. And our average gift ended up being $148, which is like much higher than the $15, but we still had about 10 or 15 people who gave at that $15 level. So that really showed that people were giving because of that incentive, and they wanted to make sure that these stuffed animals went to these patients. And then the stories, yeah, you want
No,
to
no,
chat
that's okay. So yeah, as I said, we wanted to highlight different areas of care, trying to get something out there for everyone, and just to show our community the wide variety of care that Children's does. And so we were able to pull together some different stories, get them all displayed on the landing page. So our emails would hit on, one at a time, but if people went there, they could read about more for each of the kids, which was really nice to offer everyone that ability as they were going through it. It was also really nice because occasionally we'll get really kind of compelling stories that come through, but we don't have enough assets to do a full appeal around them. And so by focusing on them for a day of giving and just being able to do some really high points of their story, we were able to showcase some of those kids. And then also we were able to take some of the stories that we felt good about and wanted to kind of test ahead of time to see how they did through that based on the email performance and the gifts that came in associated. And one of them, the first one there, Rhett, is our year-end appeal this year because he tested very, very well throughout that appeal. So it was very exciting to be able to kind of throw some test things on top of this test event and be able to roll that out into other things we were doing throughout the year as well.
One other thing I wanted to mention, we used anchor tags on the donation form. So there's give now buttons on all of the stories and then at the top of the page. So we wanted people to come to the page, but we also wanted them to donate. So all of those actions could get people to the bottom of the form. This was all built on a donation form page in Engaging Network, so they could see this content and then donate, which was really important. And then all of our emails went right to the donation form part at the bottom of the page.
Great. And then just quick to go through this one, as Darcy mentioned earlier, we wanted to maximize what EN could do. So we incorporated the countdown elements that we started using day of to drive people. We also incorporated this to our later emails in that day. So we had a couple of interactive things we were able to put in with both these countdown clocks and then also with the thermometer throughout the course of the day as well, which really helped drive people. And the fact that we were able to take into account some of those early offline gifts we got into the thermometer for launch day of, that really helped us get going that morning as well.
So the email series blueprint, we talked about the pre-launch. We started 2 weeks before the day of giving, and it also corresponded with Doctor's Day. So we had some specific language there about Doctor's Day that didn't really resonate. So we'll take a look at that. The main calls to action in that first email was to give, and we would link to that donation form section, and it would open the tribute area where you could make your gift in honor of one of your caregivers or a doctor on your team. So we started there, but the strongest emails were the day of, on the launch day. Those are the ones that had the most gifts. And as John was saying, having the postcard bring people to the page ahead of time, we had 25 gifts from the postcard. So that was good to have like a multi-channel approach, and people get the postcard in the mail and then get the emails on the day of. Yeah, so visual and tech touches. We were talking about the animated headers. Those are just GIFs that our designer built in Canva, but really helped drive urgency and making sure we had branding. We had a logo that the team built and had really strong branding, really joyous Children's Wisconsin luckily has like wonderful colors, cheerful branding that we could build from, but using that across all of our assets for the day. Um, and this was one of our best tactics. I think Wynn and Lauren, you were talking about it this morning, the abandoned cart. And so this is the segment criteria we use for that, looking at people who clicked to the donation form, but then didn't give. So we sent that the day after, so the day after the giving day. And here's some of that. The way that we like to do abandoned cart emails to people or make it look really generic, make it look like an autoresponder, like this. In every other email we send, it's very personalized, it's very warm, it's signed from somebody, and this one is just like, hey, you forgot, so it's time for you to make your donation. So it had the highest click-through rate. It had a 44% click-through rate. It went to 530 people, and it helped us get a $5,000 donor gift from someone the foundation knew wanted to give, but they literally forgot. So that was really helpful to recapture those engaged users. Did you have anything there?
No, the 5,000 is one of the most exciting things. And because of that, though, too, now we've incorporated those into every appeal that we're doing, which is something that we just hadn't been doing before.
Yeah, and they're really, really easy to set up with that segment criteria. And we send them out after the next day. I think we can also do it through automations, but we haven't tried that yet. We just do a manual send right now. But really recommend trying that as an easy way to get more engagement with your campaign. Right, campaign results. So some things that went really well, building the stories throughout. So having that time to touch on all those stories and the stories leading up to the day, and building the reason to give, building the case for why Children's Wisconsin is such a great place to give and all of the great work that they do. And then combine that with the live thermometer and seeing that people were giving together as a community and really building that up through the day. I think this audience, the Children's Wisconsin audience, really liked having that incentive, that $15 would go to patients, and then matching gift, making sure their gift made double the impact. So that was really helpful as well.
There's also, I think, we just implemented EN at the end of last year. And so just being able to have our emails and our donation form coordinated in the way that they were functioning, because we came from MailChimp and we're quite limited. So this was like, it was just really smoothness, the way that we were able to do everything for implementation, which was great. Oh, and people are still making donations to that form,
Yes.
like 6 months or 7 months later.
Always good. And then lessons and reflections, launching maybe even earlier, seeing how that goes, giving us more time to do some more stewardship and storytelling ahead of time. Maybe not do Doctor's Day messaging, but we'll take a look. Maybe there's a good segment that does want Doctor's Day messaging.
Passing mention of most.
Simplify the landing page on mobile. I think if you just looked it up on mobile, it is pretty long. You have to scroll. So seeing if we can like take things down or close up some tabs on mobile. And then these were some things that we've since done that we hadn't had a chance to do it for Giving Day, adding digital wallets. Children's Wisconsin is on Blackbaud Merchant Services. So we were able to add Apple Pay, PayPal, and Venmo to the forms. And Giving Day, we just had credit card, I think, only.
Yep.
And then the upsell box, which we're using, that built-in functionality on the Engaging Networks donation forms to upsell one-time donors to monthly donors. We tried it in our last campaign in our August appeal, and it had a 27% conversion rate in getting people to become monthly donors. So trying that again for all of our campaigns. Anything else?
Um, and just the other thing that we learned from that too is being able to focus on like having the thermometer, having the countdown timer, being able to focus on multiple stories. Just that test is allow us to roll that out into other more targeted digital appeals that we're doing too. So Giving Tuesday will be using something similar so that when people land on the page, they can see the story that we're highlighting so they don't forget about it. And even we're doing some digital acquisition, working with our system comms team this fall. And we're highlighting 3 different stories on that as well. So when people get there, they can see a few different examples of how their money is supporting children's.
Ways. So for your giving days, create urgency, but don't overwhelm. I think it really helps to have that goal and making sure that's front and center so people know what you're trying to do, what you're trying to aim is with your goal. Like John was saying, countdowns, thermometers, gain urgency, show progress, and build community, and showing that we're all working together in order to meet this goal. Emotion with a clear single ask, a strong call to action. Look at your engagement list. People who are clicking, they are basically raising their hand saying, I am interested in this. So targeting to those people who are showing engagement and reaching out to them to make sure that they did want to do that action and let them do it. And then closing with gratitude and next steps. We followed the next day with a thank you and a note that we had reached our goal. And it was a very exciting giving day, which we'll do again this year.
Yes, we will.
All right, that's all I have. Any questions? Thank you.
Excellent, thank you guys. We've got 5 minutes for questions. Let's hear it for these two. Coming from the UK, I know fundraising directors and marketing directors and digital directors whose minds would be blown by sending more than one email in one day. I know people that are scared to send more than one in a week. It's so many questions. Cool. So in the app, we've got a few questions here. So how big is your audience and what did segmentation look like?
This one, we really treated it like a kitchen sink sort of a thing. Our e-file is about 140,000, something like that. And we basically sent to everyone for this one. We didn't really do specific segmenting out on it, I don't think. Because we'd reached out to, we had especially reached out with the postcards to some of our deeply lapsed donors ahead of time, but everyone else, because of the fact that we had just migrated, we really wanted to test and see how solid the e-file was in this new state, and so we kind of just went full in with it.
Great, thank you. So this next one's about cart abandonment emails, and I'm going to give a little secret away. There's going to be some talk about that in the roadmap later, but could you explain how you deployed the cart abandonment emails, and were you able to identify true clicks versus those generated by the various email domains?
So no, I just picked the click, used the segments tool to pick those who had clicked on that broadcast. I figured a click is a click, so so it could just go to everyone that marked as a click. We did remove some people, so we moved suppressed people, removed people who had given within the last 14 days, I believe. So I added some suppressions to that list, but mostly just targeted everyone who clicked the initial one of the emails on giving day.
Yeah, and even with the initial send too, we did our standard suppressions and things like that.
Cool. Hopefully time for one more question. Which of the different tactics were new in this campaign? How did you measure which changes had which impact? For example, incentives, abandoned carts, unique days of the month, etc.
It was all new. Everything was, so we're actually like moving forward, everything is going to be kind of based against this year. So everyone on the foundation side, the leadership side, really wanted to come out of the gate successful with this. We'd have a lot of organizations that do giving days in Milwaukee, so we wanted to come out strong. And so like the incentive, we felt really strongly we had to, it was the small work group we had that came up with really tying it to the mission and doing it that way. And then just with like the feeling we had of just like confidence and excitement being on the end, like anything that we could find to implement that would make things look better than they used to, we wanted to kind of bring in. So that's where like the animations, which we really hadn't done before, and the thermometer and stuff were incorporated in. So basically kind of using the same, but just refining the messaging and kind of building it out a little bit more for next year.
Lovely. Thank you, guys. Make some noise for Darcy and John, please.